Hershiser, and I am on the Blue Review. Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Opportunity Bindi on a Wednesday morning. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcas Grant. That is Greg Bergman. Hell of a game last night, Greg. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, what happened on the field, some things going on sort of behind the scenes. But other than that, a pretty good Wednesday morning for Dodger fans.
Yeah, it is a good Wednesday morning. I was at the game last night, and it was so fast. That was the fastest game ever. It was like the game starts at 7:10. At 8 o'clock, I look over to Gene, and I'm like, it's the fifth inning already.
Yeah.
Like, it just was bang, 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 bang.
I mean, literally, I looked up and it was the seventh inning before you could blink because we had a good old-fashioned pitchers duel at Dodger Stadium last night. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Nolan McLean, both guys just awesome yesterday. Yama gives up the home run to start the game to Francisco Lindor. After that, retired 20 in a row before giving up another hit. Finally made way in the eighth inning, but McLean just as nasty. Greg, I have a friend who's a Mets fan, and he's not very optimistic right now about the way things are going. But he said the one thing we do have going for us is Nolan McLean, and man, that dude is he's an ace in the making if he's not already there.
Yeah, no, he's definitely an ace in the making. I mean, we saw it in the WBC, right? Like he was when he's basically one of the top guys in WBC. You know that he's doing pretty well. But do you want to tell us about LAX first, and then I'll tell you.
That's a good call. Yes, I should do that. The Blue Review is powered by LAX. We're taking off. Learn more about all the incredible changes happening now at LAX by going to lawa.org/ESPN. Always glad to have LAX on board here. But back to the Dodgers. Yama, McLean, you saw it firsthand. I mean, so watching a pitcher's duel live, does it have the same effect? On TV, you can see everything that's happening. You can see how nasty both guys are. I feel like when you're in the ballpark, it's just a whole lot of guys not getting a hit.
So, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a whole bunch of guys not getting hits, and you're kind of like, okay. So this many, many times they would bring somebody up, like let's say Teo, for example. Teo would come up to bat, and I'd look over and say, you'd hear his song being played, and you're like, oh, okay, Teo's coming up. And you look over and talk to him, and then you look back and you go, it's a 1-2 count?
Right.
When did he throw 3 pitches? You can't focus as much. And I was down the third base line and pretty low, actually, but it was like it was probably like 5 rows up back there, not in those early seats, the one that are actually just the field seats. And like, so you're at a weird angle, so you can't actually see what type of pitches are being thrown, like if they're in the strike zone, if they have to rely on the batter, are they jumping back, or like what they're looking like. So you can't really get the idea of the pitcher's duel, just the fact that it's moving so fast. It was the third inning, Marcus, and it happened so fast. We're like, if we're gonna get a beer, we got to go now, because this game is going to end in the blink of an eye, and we don't know if we're gonna be able to actually drink it. So yeah, but it was still an incredible game to be at, because Yamamoto's amazing. He's so good. And we've seen that before, right? Remember against Milwaukee in the NLCS? Gives up a home run the first pitch, and then he just cruised all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, it was just sort of like, I don't know if the Lindor – look, this thing happened so quick. I hadn't turned on the game yet. And like I turned on the game, and it's already 1-0. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And then after that, Yama just locked in and cruised the rest of the way. He gets you through 7 2/3 innings, the 1 run, 4 total hits allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Just a masterful performance by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I'm old enough to remember when some people said he wasn't an ace.
Yeah, what is that? Can we really do this? Are we really? And by the way, you want to know who else is an ace? Just because it's just such stupidity to even use it. Nolan McLean is an ace too. That dude is an ace also. His stuff moves like crazy.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. And yeah, Yamamoto's not an ace. Yeah, you're bringing up bad memories for me, Marcus. Just like it made me so mad that Andy McCullough would come on and have his criteria is not an ace because he didn't do it for longer than 1 year. The most idiotic thing I've heard in quite some time.
Well, then I guess for Andy McCullough, Nolan McLean is not an ace because he has not done it. He has not even done it for a year yet, let alone more than 1 year. So, Glacier and a Hat saying in the chat, McLean's sweeper has as much movement as I've seen on a pitch in a while. That is very true. It's like a wiffle ball. It's very much like Blake Trinan's sweeper, except McLean throws it for 7 innings as opposed to 1 or 2. The Dodgers just did not have a clue on that yesterday. And, they got the run in the first inning. Maybe could have had more at second and third with 1 out, but only got the 1 run home. Beyond that, they were just absolutely baffled. A lot of swings and misses. A lot of guys, a guy is throwing well when hitters are taking pitches that end up just right down the middle. And, I think Teo struck out on a pitch that just ended up being middle because it moved or he wasn't expecting it. A couple of the guys with just some really weird swings. That lets you know that McLean was going well last night.
So that's part of the things that I can't see. So then, but no, Laura, it was not in a box seat, but but that was what I couldn't see because there was a in that bat where Teo jumped back, and I looked. I'm like, okay, it was a ball, and then I look up and it's like it was a strike. I'm like, how. The guy was like 4 feet out of the box from jumping back so far, and that was one of those ones where it was a sweeper that was in that he looked like it was going to be right at his stomach and up in the middle of the plate. Yeah,
there were a few of those. I mean, there was Freddie Freeman struck out late in the game on a pitch down and away because it just ran away from him. I mean that's sort of what it was. And so McLean goes 7 innings, gives up just the 1 run on 2 hits. 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, just had the Dodgers off balance pretty much all night long. But in the end, they score a run.
Is that me? I'm frozen.
In the bottom of the 8th inning against Brook about how... Oh, am I back? There I am. There I am.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know.
Talk for a while about how... No, I don't know. I think it might have me. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's fixed. We've talked for a while about Kyle Tucker just trying to make an impact on a new club and feeling like he's pressing a little bit. And finally, Greg, he comes to the plate first and second in the bottom of the 8th inning. And look, it's not one you're going to write poems about. It was just a little flare that landed in the grass behind third base into short left field. But it looks like a line drive in the box score. More importantly, it was the game-winning run for the Dodgers last night. So, hey, shout out to Kyle Tucker, who I'm sure it was a big weight off his shoulders to get that done last night.
Yeah, I think it will be a bit. I'm hoping that it'll be a big weight. Sometimes it's not about, remember, barrels are overrated.
Right.
So, it's not about getting that big hit all the time. It's about just seeing the ball land in grass and you actually get a hit and it's a game-winning hit. So hopefully that'll kind of just ease him up a little bit. I do wonder, though, if it was a home run that he would have gotten, or a double, that just a really strong shot that into a gap. Like something that would have been like, okay, that swing felt good. I just wonder if that would have makes a difference. Hopefully it is what you're saying, that just getting that little flare hit is something that'll change it all around. But I mean, Tucker, he did one thing he didn't do. He didn't strike out yesterday. So that was a positive. He just was grounding out consistently over and over again. I think he's still going to be going through it for a little bit. Hopefully he gets out of it, and this is the impetus to that. But yeah, it's a struggle bus still at this point.
Well, on a night where it seemed like everybody was striking out, the fact that he didn't was, I think, notable. And I mean, I look at it as, in basketball terms, a shooter who's having a tough night and just sort of needs to see one go in, whether it's a layup, a free throw, whatever. I'm sort of hoping this is Kyle Tucker's layup, where, it's not spectacular. It's not one that everybody's going to be talking about the next day, but that hopefully it just is a reminder. Hey, man, I can put the ball in play. I can find grass. I can drive in runs in big situations. You could definitely see the reaction from the rest of the ball club last night when that happened. I think they all understand that Tucker's kind of going through it and he's kind of pressing. And you definitely got that feel from Rojas when he scored, from the guys in the dugout, just sort of celebrating the moment, that I think they understand that maybe this is the thing to get him going. Because if you get Kyle Tucker going at the top of the order, with the way, Pages is hitting, with the way the guys at the bottom of the order are hitting, it's already a scary lineup. This lineup becomes just deadly if Kyle Tucker starts going.
Oh man, it's a wrap, dude. If they can, Kyle Tucker starts figuring it out. But let's talk about that entire play. It was just so well done. Miggy Rowe comes in because he's facing a left-hander. He takes a walk. Freeland does or actually Espinal comes in for Freeland because, again, left-hander, right-hand, you want the matchup. He just first pitch, drops down a bunt, brings him over to second, which, by the way, we're talking about a bunt.
Right?
When was the last time we talked about a bunt?
What year is this?
Right. Where was this Brett Butler that was up there? What's happening here? But so they drops down a bunt, moves him over to second, and then then the little flare hit by Shohei intentionally walked, and then you get the little flare hit
streak keeps going, by the way. The on-base streak's still going.
I know. What is that? That's 45 games in a row.
48. I think we're at.
Is it 48?
Yeah, we're at 48 now.
These games are just flying by, man.
Yeah.
So 48, but didn't he get the little flare hit? And that drives him. That was old school, just simple baseball. And that's what people want so often. And be like, why isn't he bunting? Why aren't they playing small ball? Why aren't they doing this? Hey, you got it last night in a situation where you had to have it. But to your point from before, how excited were you specifically when Rayleigh came in for McLean?
I just wanted to see anybody other than Nolan McLean. I didn't care who it was, just not Nolan McLean anymore, because the Dodgers didn't have an inkling about what to do with him. I mean, he had them off balance. They were not making solid contact. I mean, you had the double from Will Smith in the first inning, just kind of a sinking liner that Carson Bench almost caught, but he couldn't quite squeeze it. The other hit before that was Max Muncy just kind of lifting one out into the gap in left center field. Again, he didn't barrel it up. He didn't hit it hard. He just put it in a good spot. And then the Tucker RBI single, which again, just a little kind of Texas leaguer flair that landed in short left field. So I was thrilled to not have it be Nolan McLean, because if they had let him go all 9, I think we might still be playing right now.
Yeah. By the way, that Will Smith hit was right in front of me, and he should not have dove for that ball. He was nowhere near it. It was maybe it looked like it on TV, but that was when we were like, "What are you doing?" That was a stupid dive. Like that. It was dumb that he even went for it. That's why I think it turned into an error. No. It was he's an extra.
Did they eventually make that an error? I don't know, but
the extra base, because he moved them up to second base because he decided to dive like a dummy and just not keep it in front of him. It really was. It was a stupid play.
Oh man, yeah. But either way, it worked out. The Dodgers do get a run out of it, even though again, hope they could have got more, but whatever. It just didn't happen. So here we are. The Mets continuing to struggle. They have lost 7 in a row. In this 7-game losing streak, they have scored 10 runs in the last 7 games. 6 of those 10 runs came in one game. So, offensively, this is not a good ball club at the moment. And good news for them, they get to face Shohei Ohtani today. So,
just Shohei Ohtani.
Good luck. Good luck.
You go from one ace to another ace, and then you probably would, if they were lucky and got to play the next game, they'd see another one. So
Yeah. Well, and then I guess they go to.
They go. I think they're off on Thursday, and then they go to the Rockies. Oh, House of Horrors! I hate that place so much. So let's just get this out of the way. Can we play all games versus Colorado in Colorado?
Just get them all away one time. Right just knock them out and never have to go back.
Get them out of the way right now. That is the worst ballpark in all of baseball.
Oh, man.
But it's still back to this game a little bit. That was Francisco Lindor's
first home run of the year.
RBI. Yep. It's his first RBI of the year.
Yeah.
That home run. That's crazy that you're 17 games into the season and you have 1 RBI. Like, we're talking about Kyle Tucker struggling, and he's got, I think, like 10 or 11 RBIs. Right. This dude's at the top of the order, and he has 1 RBI.
Yeah, and he drove himself in.
Yeah,
Like, that's
right.
it. Like, um, part of the story for the Mets has been that the guys they need to hit are not hitting. Lindor is one of them. They brought in Bo Bichette, who is very much driving the struggle bus right now. Luis Roberts been okay. I think he's been about what you would expect from him. Marcus Semien, who has been struggling the last couple of years, not hitting. A lot of their high price free agents are just not getting it done for him. And then you throw in Lindor struggling. That's a recipe for them being where they are right now at 7-11. So that's that.
What a mess.
Were you? We got to get to Edwin Diaz. I guess since we're talking about current Mets, we should talk about a former Met and Edwin Diaz. We all thought it was weird that when the Dodgers took the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, it was Alex Vesia that got up in the bullpen and not Edwin Diaz. There had been the talk of his velocity being down. His response was essentially, "It's April. Don't worry about it." Dave Roberts has been sort of coy about it. You put in the chat a tweet from Bill Plunkett that he threw make this make sense. He threw a bullpen so he couldn't go last night. I don't think it's serious, Greg, but I think it's more than the Dodgers are letting on with Edwin Diaz.
So you're trying to tell me that Dave Roberts is telling us something that may not be the truth.
I know that's hard to hear. Yeah, I know that's shocking.
I believe everything Dave Roberts says. He is always extremely truthful in these situations. But no, I mean, like it does sound a little different. First of all, that for me, I'm disappointed because I was like, yes,
trumpets.
Diaz. I'm going to get trumpets. I'm going to stand up. I was going to do the whole thing. I could see right into the bullpen catchers who are going to have their little trumpet things. I was all excited. And then I get Alex Vesia, which there's a great story behind Vesia that we can get to after this. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Edwin Diaz, it seems kind of insane to me that because he couldn't play because he threw a bullpen earlier in the day. There absolutely probably is something going on. They're all saying nothing is going on. His velocity is down because that's what happens at the beginning of the season. Okay, I can believe that. I didn't pay attention to the Mets.
Right.
And what he did in April and what his velocity was. So maybe that is true. But at the same time, this was a simple game against his former team that would make sense. Now they're saying he's available tonight, but you don't know if you're going to get him in that situation. I feel like this was a really good opportunity to let him go out there and shove against his former team.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think, there obviously is something going on that they're being precautionary about, which I think is smart because there's a long season, but you don't got to tell us little lies. That's all.
Right. Like I'm not, the whole bullpen thing, I'm not buying it. There was though a positive, well, aside from the win, a positive angle to Alex Vesia pitching last night, that it was healthcare workers appreciation night, I believe, is what they called it. And so you had a lot of healthcare workers. Obviously, the Vesia family had the really terrible tragedy last year, losing their daughter. And so obviously having him come out and pitch and knowing his appreciation personally for the healthcare workers who worked with him and his wife during their really tough time. I understand the meaning of it there. I totally do. And, we sort of talked about that in the chat a little bit. So I get that. That doesn't completely wash away whatever's happening with Diaz and whatever the Dodgers are or are not telling us at this moment.
Do you think there's anything? This is just complete conspiracy theory point at this point. I don't know if I don't actually believe this, but a couple of days ago, they brought in Vesia with 2 outs and Blake Trinan on the mound on his birthday.
They said it was his birthday, right? It was Vesia's birthday.
Yeah, it was birthday. And then now you have him finish out a game on Healthcare Worker Appreciation Day while the people that helped him and his wife in a very difficult time were in the building in a suite watching the game, and they went to him. Could it be just as simple as they are just kind of going, like letting Vesia go through his stuff? But because also there's a lot of things going on with Vesia just with his pitching. He's getting guys out and he's still amazing, but his velocity is super low.
It's way down.
That was a 90 per hour fastball that he was throwing last night, and he was throwing 82 mile per hour sliders, still getting guys out, and he struck out the side, which was incredible. But you think there could be something going on there? Like, here are moments at the beginning of the season where it doesn't matter that much. It would give you, here's your birthday, here's this.
I think, because he hasn't gotten knocked around, that it hasn't become a talking point, but it is noticeable. And it was a thing I know Jeff Spiegel pointed out, maybe it was on the birthday outing for Vesia, that he threw a pitch that was like 89 miles an hour. That's, I mean, look, if you are smart and you know how to, keep guys off balance and move the ball around, you can survive. I don't know how you thrive at 89 miles an hour in the major leagues nowadays. This isn't the early 80s. I just don't know that works. But he's been good, so nobody's really talked about it. But I kind of paid attention last night. There was a pitch where he grunted. I mean, he put everything into it, and the radar gun said 91. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, that is, I think, something to sort of monitor. And maybe if he runs into some trouble, it becomes more of a talking point. It has not come up yet, but I do think there is something going on there, but he's been able to battle through it so far this year.
Well, yeah, which he hasn't. He's getting strikeouts, and he's not getting hits. Like, there's just things that I was thinking about it when I was walking out. Like, is this because you're seeing 96, 97, 98 consistently, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in throwing 90, and you're too early, or you're like back a little bit too late, or I don't know. It's just good. It's maybe like the Kershaw effect of it, that he is just pitching to certain locations that are getting guys out. And, if you are a pitcher, like the way that Alex Vesia is, that Clayton Kershaw was, you can still get outs. It is a little worrisome, or it could be that it's April and people have lower velocities in April, apparently. Well, that was the Tanner Scott excuse last year.
Right.
This is Edwin Diaz this year, and now Alex Vesia is low, but still getting outs. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
It is interesting. I can tell you that I think I missed it when Scott said it last year. I know Anthony Witrado pointed that out. You're caught on when Diaz said it this year. I can tell you that I don't remember ever hearing that. Maybe you guys have always said that, and I've just never paid attention to it. But we'll see how things come around later on. But for now, everything's working well. The Dodgers continue to win. They are
13-4, man.
13-4. With a 2-game lead over the Padres. Hey, look, for as much as we dumped on the Padres, they've kind of gotten hot lately, and they're 11-6 right now. So they're it's early, but they're hanging around in the National League West.
But this is kind of what happened last year, right? It's just, and like the Dodgers tried to let the Padres back in, but in this one, it seems like they're doing what they did before, where the Padres have won 6 in a row. And the Dodgers are still 2 games ahead because at this point in the season, with the record that they have and the 6-game winning streak, because it's only been 17 games,
right.
They should be in first. Like, should be, but because they have the Dodgers that are sitting there and just win games at the end of games and come back and win games all the time, apparently, that it's just a difficult thing to get through. Again, early season, and a lot of things can change, but at the same time, they have to contend with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers don't seem to be slowing down at any point right now.
Yeah. By the way, in that 6-game winning streak, 4 of those wins came against the Rockies. So
okay, so was it? I don't know. Does it say whether it was in that little bandbox?
No, they were in Petco.
Garbage.
They're Petco.
They're Petco. Okay, so that's a little
They played at sea level, so it was a little bit different. A little bit different for the Padres in that one. So. Tonight is the finale of the 3-game set between the Dodgers and the Mets. 7:10, first pitch time from Dodgers Stadium. Clay Holmes gets the ball for the Mets going against Shohei Ohtani. Holmes, a pretty good start to his season. 2-1, an ERA of 1.5, 12 strikeouts in his starts. So I don't think he's going to be quite as filthy as Nolan McLean, but has also a pretty good start. But the Dodgers trying to get the sweep on Jackie Robinson Day as well.
Oh, yes, Jackie Robinson Day.
So happy Jackie Robinson Day.
Everybody in 42, I love the fact that they do that. I think it's important to do that, and it's a great honor to the. Are the Robinson family going to be there? Usually they are.
Usually they are. Yeah, I haven't heard otherwise, but we will all see together tonight when the game gets going, or just before the game gets going. So be sure to check that out as well. But of course, we'll be back with you tomorrow to wrap it all up. Hopefully the Dodgers are able to pull off the sweep, and at the same time, Shohei's got a couple of streaks on the line, right? His earned run streak is still going. Right. And the on-base streak still going as well. So we'll see if he can continue both of those tonight against the punchless New York Mets. So that'll do it, though, for this edition.
Is that fair? I mean, is it really fair? You have a guy that has a 48-game on-base streak and a guy that has a 0 ERA as a starter.
No, that's not fair. But you know what? He's on our side, so it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. Thanks to Tim for production assistance. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza. We'll be back with you tomorrow. For Greg, I am Marcus. It's been a Blue Review presented by LAX. We'll see you 6:30, 6:55 right here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
See ya. Yeah.